In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
This is a free hour on your radio. Refugee Radio Network. Love freedom, love life.
Hi, I'm Larry, also known as the Radio Guy from Refugee Radio Network. Join me on the voyage, Refugee Radio Network Tour 2015, Phase 1, the Italian Mission. We covered from Rome, Naples to Calabria. In Rome, we were able to meet and connect with Flore Murard Journalist, a friend and a journalist. Listeners, stay tuned for this and many more on the Refugee Radio Network. Refugee Voices Show, live and direct from the city of Hamburg.
Refugee Radio, live in the city of Rome, and we're here with some friends of ours, some activists, journalists, a good friend, Flore Murard. Thanks for being with us on Refugee Radio Network. You're welcome.
Flore Murard Journalist. Hello to everybody. I'm very happy to talk on this radio, so to contact all my friends around, all the migrants who came to Europe to look for a better life. Buongiorno, sono Flore Murard Journalist, sono una giornalista e attivista e sono molto onorata di poter rilasciare questa intervista per Refugee Network Radio, perché tutti i nostri amici migranti che sono venuti a cercare una vita migliore in Europa.
For how long have you been fighting this struggle with your work, your activism, your journalism? For how long?
I came to Italy in 2005 after some years around the world for the United Nations. I started observing the migration movement since 2007, and I started writing on newspaper L'Unità from 2009. But what was very interesting is I had a previous experience in developing countries, so I could make the network mentally, and I immediately understood it was going to be a revolution and not only migratory flows as they are reduced by politicians, but a huge movement of population seeking for their wealth, because there is a huge poverty issue, a war issue, and Europe is responsible. And I think that if we don't connect to our colonial responsibilities and we don't connect to the need for redistributing the wealth on a global level, we will not understand migrations.
Now, it brings us to the revolution of now, which is the Flüchtling revolution. Flüchtling in German means refugee. The refugee and migration revolution is here now, and it's high. And what do you think about it? What's your opinion about the refugee situation?
I believe obviously there are many refugees, and they are coming to Europe, and the people don't want to see their refugees. They don't want European population do not understand the ground roots of this migration flow. They do not understand what is the situation of Syria today, what is the situation of Nigeria, where all the resources have been stolen. They don't want to look, to see, to understand. There is I think a psychopathological issue within the European minds who are blind about the lives of these people. Obviously, when refugees are coming to Europe, unfortunately, there is a very bad detention issue. I do not call welcoming centers as welcoming centers. I think they are non-welcoming centers because there are places where people are private from their freedom. Their rights are not acknowledged. There is a lot of psychological violence on these refugees. People do not need only bread and a bed. This is a wrong materialistic view. The people want to realize their dreams. They want love. They want to come here for realizing an identity. And I think European societies have been very egoistic in thinking that they can reduce this issue of refugees as a material issue. And I think this is a ground where we can see that there is a racism issue, because black people are still detained, still handled as things and not as human beings.
Well, you've said a lot. And what do you think we can do to stop this?
We can spread real information about lives of people, about what they've been through in their countries. We can spread real dignifying information. But I think we need to understand Europe needs to cure itself from this psychopathological derive, this drift for a racial issue, and we don't have lots of time, because the news of today is speaking 17th of August today in Rome are very frightening. We have had 2 racial attacks against migrants, one yesterday night in the town of Quinto of Treviso at north, where by some of the population instigated to hatred by the far-right movements have been attacking a migrant center, asking for the same rights, as if refugees would have more rights than the population. I think there is a whole propaganda there. Refugees have less rights than European population. But on the ground of this economical crisis, we have risk of a psychopathological and a racial psychosis. On the second ground, I think we need to make networks. We need to be very strong, us activists, and to be physically present whenever there is a far-right extremist movement meeting. We need to be alerted. We need to provide, I think, information among ourselves in order to protect refugees. But I am personally very worried, and I wrote a book that is Inhuman Drift, and I'm very worried about recent developments in Europe, and not only Italy. I think we have a whole picture of a new border fascism. I mean, the fascism that is growing as a reaction to this revolution. So I called it border fascism because I think that what we are witnessing is this violence against migrants is going to absorb our own democracies if we do not react. I do not believe we have only victims among migrants. I think the issue is also spreading as a virus against non-violence, against democratic, peaceful. And I think the people who are being able to change the course of this history are the migrants themselves and the refugees. I think we need your voice, and I'm sure that a reaction against violence is already spreading. A rebellion for your rights, a rebellion for, as Angela Davis said recently, visiting a center in Berlin. I don't remember the town she'd been through, I might be wrong, but she said a very brightful, clever inside as she is. She said that the refugee movement is the movement of the 21st century, and I think we need to understand this, and the movement will fight for their rights.
Okay, thank you very much, Flore, for talking with us about these issues. And you've really done a lot of... I've followed some of your works on Facebook and on the internet, and it's quite interesting. And we will be happy to have a book or your writings that we can read out on our radio. Great. So that has to do with the struggle also, so that people can have an educational insight into how to solve and to get also information from your side. We would appreciate that.
Most happy to share my latest pamphlet, which is also a wall manifesto named The Denial of Migrants as Human Beings, which is a reflection on the psychological roots of racism in Europe, and the fact that negating the truth of this coming revolution is making us fading and having a disrupt within Europe. And this book is gratis, is yours, and you can read any piece as you wish.
Okay, thank you very much. In Italian, we just like you to say a short phrase of what you want in the world now.
Pace, pace, dobbiamo lottare assolutamente in un momento dove apparentemente stiamo riproponendo le vecchi orribili razzismi e guerra ai migranti nel Mediterraneo, e credo che tutti i fratelli e compagni e rifugi, cioè i profughi nel mondo, stanno veramente cambiando la faccia del mondo in un posto migliore. Io ho fiducia nel movimento dei migranti internazionali.
Thank you very much.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
This is a free hour on your radio. Refugee Radio Network. Love freedom, love life.